Hello everyone and welcome to Looking at the Markets with David Modell. I'm going to tell you about a major event that could send the price of Bitcoin soaring in May 2020 and a possible strategy that you might want to take this year in order to maximize your profits on this strategy if you choose to use it. Now you have to make your own decisions. This is not a recommendation to buy Bitcoin. All right. Now what I do is, my name is David Modell, and I help people to make their own decisions. I help people to put together trading or investing plans, and it's individualized. It's different for everybody. It's not cookie cutter. So if you want some help with that, you can email me anytime at davidmodell@gmail.com. So let's talk about, first of all, mining. There's something you need to understand in order to really make this possible strategy work. Once every 10 minutes, Bitcoin miners receive a reward for mining, and it's paid out in Bitcoin for solving difficult mathematical problems. Unfortunately for them, approximately every 4 years, the Bitcoin rewards they receive are cut in half. Yeah, so they get a 50% pay cut, unfortunately. This is known as a Bitcoin halving event, halving meaning cut in half. So why do they do this? Well, the reason is to keep Bitcoin scarce. See, the number of total Bitcoins ever to be created is 21 million. And so the Bitcoin reward for miners is cut in half around once every 4 years in order to limit the supply of Bitcoin coming into the market. Now let's go over the history. It's happened twice so far, the halvings. The first halving happened in 2012, when the reward for Bitcoin mining was cut from 50 Bitcoin to 25. The second halving occurred in 2016, 4 years later, when the reward was cut from 25 Bitcoin to 12.5, which is the current reward for mining. And unless there is some drastic change of plans, the next Bitcoin halving will occur in May of 2020. Now you might be thinking that's not for a little while, but there might be an action you can take this year in order to potentially maximize your profits on this strategy if you choose to use it. Now the sample size is very small, only 2 instances of it happening in the past, but every time a halving occurred, the Bitcoin price went up a lot over the next year, like a whole lot. And so if history proves to be an accurate guide, and it isn't always, granted, just because something happened in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen in the future, and there have only been 2 instances to go by. But if history does prove to be an accurate guide, it might be very profitable to buy Bitcoin during the next halving in May of 2020. But maybe we can do even better than that. When we look at the chart, and we're going to look at it soon, we'll see that if someone had bought Bitcoin a year before the halvings of the past, they would have made a lot more money than if they bought it just during the halving event. So let's take a look at the chart, and I want to give credit where credit is due. It's from a Reddit post, and I'll put a link in the description below this video. I'll also put a link in the description below this video to Wealth Research Group because somebody from Wealth Research Group pointed this out to me. I learned about it from him. He's a mentor of mine, and this is not a sponsored or paid video or anything like that. I just want to give credit to the people who give me knowledge so I can pass it on to you. So feel free to look at the link in the description below this video, first for this chart where I got it from, so you can investigate it on your own, and also to Wealth Research Group because they're the ones who pointed this strategy out to me. All right, so let's look at the chart, and as you can see, yeah, it was 50 Bitcoin. That was the reward every 10 minutes to whoever solved the complicated math problem. All right, for the miners. All right, and yeah, here's the halving, the first one that occurred in late 2012. All right, here it is. And then what happened for the next year? It wasn't a straight line necessarily, but it was definitely a huge increase in the price of Bitcoin from, in not much over $10 here to 1,000. Okay, within about a year here. All right, and so you could have bought then and held for a year and done really, really well, but you could have done even better if you bought a year before. What if you had bought down here a year prior? Okay, and really enjoyed that ride up. And so therefore, you could have bought it a year before the halving and then held it for a year after the halving, so for a total of 2 years. And man, you would have done quite well, because looks like it was around $5 here. All right, so what about the second halving, which occurred near the middle of 2016, right about there. Again, if you bought it, held for a year, you would have done great, really great, from less than $1,000 to, well, I think most of us know where Bitcoin peaked at nearly $20,000. And so you would have done quite well there. But what if you had bought a year earlier, right around there? You would have made even more money. This was back when looks like Bitcoin was maybe $400 or $500, something like that. All right, so you would have done really amazing well if you had held, a year prior to the halving and then held for 2 years. Would have done incredibly well. All right, and so the next halving, mid-2020, it's been calculated at May of 2020. But what if you bought it this year, a year prior? Okay, it's a speculative play. It's risky. I recommend only do this if you really believe in it, and don't. I recommend never putting in anything that you cannot afford to lose, because it is cryptocurrency. You don't know which way it's going to go. So small position sizing is crucial here. But maybe if you think that this could happen again, and well, in the past, the Bitcoin halvings did have a way of making Bitcoin more scarce, and so it's possibly worth looking into. And so the time, if you were to time it that way, the time to get in would be either May of this year, or maybe a little bit earlier, maybe a little bit later, up to you. I just think it's a really interesting idea, and also it could be encouraging. If you're holding Bitcoin, if you're down on your position, maybe this can give you some hope, give you a reason possibly to hold at least through the halving or a year after the halving, really, if you wanted to just play this strategy. So hey, maybe if you're down on your Bitcoin position, you might be all right if you just hold on. Okay, one more reason to hold on. So my name is David Modell, and you can contact me by email at davidmodell@gmail.com anytime. I really appreciate it. If you want to show your support, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment. Let me know what you think of this. Do you think the past is going to be predictive for the future or not? Or is this something that you really can't count on? Let me know. I really like to read your opinions. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I put out more videos like this one. All right, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, everybody. I'll talk to you again soon.